We're in the middle of our 40 days of equipping. And again, these 40 days can start at any point in time. You want to go ahead and select the 40 days, or you see throughout the scriptures where it was the Father that selected it for them. Either way, the leading of the Lord is best, of course, but you can go ahead and say, look, for the next 40 days, I'd like to focus on what he says about me. What he says about me, what his identity, what does it mean that he lives in me and I'm in him, and what are the implications? They're vast. And I have 3 books right in front of me. 3 books right in front of me concerning 40 days. And why am I doing this? I call it the Nehemiah principle. Nehemiah, it took him 52 days to complete the building of the wall, but somewhere in the middle, his workers, well, they got kind of sidetracked, disillusioned. They had other thoughts and feelings creep in. They had all those thoughts and feelings have a voice to them. And they started to get, in a sense, distracted, if you will, from the mission and the purpose and the goal of building the wall. So Nehemiah had to go ahead and come again and reset the vision for them. We call it the Nehemiah principle, or day 26. 26 in the middle of the 52 days it took for them to build the wall. Somewhere in the middle, Nehemiah just again laid down or relayed the foundation and purpose and principle and vision of rebuilding the wall. So we're in the middle, somewhere in the middle of this 40 days of equipping. And I'm thinking of these, I have 3 in front of me. I'll hold them up to you in just a second. But I did an Amazon search. Check this out, 40 days. Just type in 40 days. That's all I got. That's as far as I got. 40 days. And some of the books that popped up, 40 days of decrease. I'm thinking maybe that's a weight loss program. I probably should click on that. 40 days of decrease. 40 days of prayer. 40 days to a joy-filled life. 40 days to personal revolution. 40 days with Jesus. 40 days at the foot of the cross. I've got 40 Days of Transformation by Richard Mull, a local author. I have here Rick Warren's book on the purpose-driven life, which takes you through 40 days. He says it right here, single out 40 days. Go ahead and read that for a purpose-driven life. And the one that I quote the most, or at least you've heard it before, is 40 Days of Prayer and Healing by Wayne C. Anderson. Those are just 3. I have one Kindle right there on my iPad. 40 Days of Pep Talks for Mountain Movers. Ooh. Awesome. And that's just, I guess, in a sense, a devotional guide to a book that actually is for parents who have kids with different genetic birth defects. And if you want to go ahead and target that with prayer, healing, and intercession, that's what that's for. It's a book, it says, for mountain movers. And that particular author has been ostracized. People lost friends. I've lost friends over it. And without getting into that, it's about the 40 days of equipping. Is that, are there certain key ingredients, direction and purpose that the Father can bring? Yes. I looked just this morning at this 40 days of transformation concerning where you live. Now let me just say, after traveling just different parts of this nation, you've come across a lot of people. Some people don't give it a second thought to where they live. Most people, technically. Some people, they've got, like, I don't know, maybe spiritual ants in their pants. They're just restless. That's what I call it, spiritual ant. May not be appropriate. Hang in there. But some of you know what I mean. It's like, I don't know, they have this restlessness about them. Some people, they know exactly why they live where they live. I mean, I'm sorry I didn't mark it out here, but here it's the Apostle Paul. And the Apostle Paul, check this out. The Apostle Paul says, from one man, this is in Acts chapter 17. You can start at verse 24, which is best. But in Acts chapter 17, verse 24 through 27, somewhere in the middle of that, he says, from one man the Father made every nation of men, that they should inhabit the whole earth. And he determined the times set for them and the exact places where they should live. The Father has set the exact places where they should live. You're strategically placed in your given area and land for a reason. and the land responds to you, or it is ready and waiting to respond to you. In these 40 days of equipping, it's all about knowing some of the key ingredients and thoughts concerning identity, language, what should be coming out of my mouth, life and healing and joy, so that the land can respond. In times like this, we are praying and believing for the mature sons in the faith to step up, realize that they have been strategically placed in the land for a time as this, for such a time as this. Whether Esther, Queen Esther, whether or not she was like, I don't know if I belong here. It just seems to be a bit out of place. She had to have a loved one come to her and say, you have come to the kingdom for such a time as this. No matter where you are, no matter how comfortable or uncomfortable you are concerning your location, you have been brought to that particular place for such a time as this. Whether you're a passer through or you're there for the long haul. For me, I had to go ahead and say it out loud to my atmosphere. I told you that already. Some of you heard it. It's in my word concerning whether or not you're a temple or a tabernacle. The Apostle Paul says you're a temple of the Holy Spirit. So temples are permanent fixtures. Tabernacles are just a glorified word for tent. A tent can be torn down, it can move, be relocated, but you're a temple. And for me, concerning here, even here in Florida, because I always thought Florida is the place you go to retire. I got more left. I'm not retiring. But just knowing that we were relocated here, there was something about it that I had to say out loud into my atmosphere. Florida is my home. Florida is my home. Florida is my home. Florida is my home. Because if I didn't do that, I just knew my emotional bags were always going to be, packed and ready to go. And there's no really true health and stability to that. So declaring that, I could feel the very roots of my life and our lives here to sink into the ground, into the land of where we live now. He has set the places for you to live. And it's for a strategic time as this. I'm not saying he can't in the future relocate you. Very well could. Very well could. And we could talk about that in the future. Just concerning God can't steer a parked car. Someone told me that a long time ago. I had a hard time learning that. Sometimes we just stay and we don't know what to do. We get, it's like paralysis through analysis. We overanalyze things. And it's like God can't steer a parked car. Listen, we put one foot in front of the other. And finding out who we are and who he is in us. And we go forward. Thank you for sticking with me through this all. I know it's a bit longer today, but it's a good word there in Acts chapter 17, verses 24 through 27. You've been brought to the kingdom for such a time as this. He set you there. He set you there. And we'll talk more about that concerning the land and your atmosphere. Amen?